Okay, so I'm not gonna look at chat now. We're just gonna go through this. I don't know how long it takes. It seems to be quite a bit, so I want to go through that and possibly go through the other one fast as well. So this probably takes like 15 minutes. But yeah, let's go. So title update 3 for PTS phase 2, it's finally here, right? As I said before, they will have 3 phases, it seems like. And yeah, first phase was quite long, and now phase 2. So most likely this patch is like, what? Almost a month away, actually, I think, if they're gonna have 3 phases. But maybe this will be the last. So you're just gonna go through this quickly and see what they changed, because I know they have done some balancing, and yeah, I know you guys wanna know about that. So recalibration. So provided us feedback. So yeah, depending on the feedback they got, it's basically what they adjust. How does the new system feel? Or I guess they want feedback on this, to put it. Man, I need to stop not rushing this. Okay, we take it slow. So yeah, they want to highlight these because they want to have feedback on these points, right? So the recalibration system, which they did change, how it works. Like you can actually go over the 100% budget, which you could not do before. Not gonna go too much into detail about that, but basically a gear piece have 100 budget, and before you could only recal, so it yeah, kept the 100 budget. Right now you can basically extend over that. That makes sense. So Reviver Hive was quite bugged, so they're trying to make that more reliable, which is really good if you're playing solo. Character getting stuck, control points, changes to the difficulties. Yeah, basically difficulty changes. Mission, they changed the NPC sponginess. And spawning. So I guess they made missions easier. Keep in mind that heroic should still be very difficult, but we are interested if there are still parts you find nearly impossible to master, even with very good gear or in a group. I mean, they're saying in a group. Just because you are in a group shouldn't mean it should be easy though, right? If they said good group, then fine, but they only say in group. But yeah. So the patch notes for PTS, for the PTS phase 3 though. So crafting increased the base cap for components, basically, like everything up to 600, which is nice to see. I would like to see this to be like 1000. I think a few of these I actually gone through before, right, actually. So maybe I shouldn't go through everything here, because I did cover this in a video before. So I guess the loot containers will now reset at a preset time of the day. That's good. Drone helicopter. Reduce the maximum available loot from clan cache. Okay, that doesn't sound that good. Increased ammo, yeah, we've gone through that. Reduce difficulty for solo players. So NPC AI fixed a lot of stuff with those. Not too interested to go more in depth on that, actually. Adjust cost and ability to recalibrate for terminate kneecap calculated. That's active talents. Experience for bounty has been increased. So yeah, this is stuff we already went through. Weekly projects, award blueprints, and they have daily as well. The weekly ones are already in the game, but the dailies are not. So make sure you do the weekly ones. Skills. The drone will now more actively look for a new target once it loses a current target. I mean, I guess that's good. Defender drone will now drain more quickly once a shot has been deflected. But it doesn't say... This could have been in phase 1, right? That because what I heard is that it actually have effective HP, right? So I think that's actually in. We're gonna go and check the PTS one as well, really quick though, when it comes to skills and talents. So reinforcer gas clouds do not stack anymore. I don't know why they changed that. That's such a weak skill. Fix the revive hive chem launcher. Scanner pole, reduce cooldown from 120 to 90. That's nice to see. Because I do want to play Pulse again. And I think the next patch that might happen. Pretty sure it will happen. Increased required max armor depleted from 10 to 20%. Now requires 7 offensive. I think this one was... didn't they up this to 11? So it was 11 before, right? And now they put it down to 7. And 7 is actually, that's manageable. Like that's good. So 11 was really high, but as I said before, it's a test server, so they are supposed to test stuff. So I think it's better to go a bit ham and then like, yeah, put it down a bit where you feel like it's more balanced. So 7 attributes, not bad. And yeah, I mean, this is still nerfed though, but yeah, nothing new about that. So Blacksmith, I think that talent with a pistol you get 50% armor repair instantly, so that's really strong. 7 defense attributes every 15 seconds. That's fine, I guess. I'm not a fan of internal cooldowns, to be honest, but hey. Bloodlust, isn't that what people say? No, is it Bloodsucker? I think it's Bloodsucker, right? People say new meta. See about that. Increase granted weapon damage from, yeah, this is the one you get. Yeah, okay. So you get 35% damage. Is it after a kill and you swap weapon, I think? Maybe wrong about that. So 9 offensive, that's a lot. 9 offensive, holy shit. I don't know what I think about that. I think that's the talent, right? Bloodsucker, depleting an enemy's armor adds a stack of 24 bonus armor for 10 seconds. Yeah, that's the talent people say gonna be meta. We will see about that. Max stacks is 6. It's not a bad talent though, but it's just better talents in the pool, in my opinion. Like it counters like certain builds, like people that play HP with the Vector Clutch, like sure, like it counters that pretty good, but still, even I wouldn't bother. So critical hit damage talent, it's lower from 8 to 5. Clutch, they did buff the HP gain to 20 and reduce the armor from 2 to 1. So I think this is a pretty good buff if you stack a lot of HP. But obviously this 2% to 1 is actually a big nerf in terms of armor. But I think that's better though. Honestly, why not only be HP actually? Why just not take away the armor and only give it to HP? Like, why should it get both? Wouldn't that make more sense if it's only HP? Because then it's not going to be as OP, right? Because a lot of people use Clutch on a non-risky way, so they just get armor all the time, right? If it only gives you HP, then you have to put yourself more at a risk, and you need to have a more niche build for that. Which, I mean, that's the way I play it, and I think that's a better way, because yeah, if you in the HP pool, you actually risk way more. But maybe that would make the talent useless, even though I don't think so, but yeah. Entrench, it's when you hit headshots with a rifle or sniper, you get 10% healing now. And I thought this was good at 5%. If you can hit consistently headshots with this, 10% with safeguard, like that's gonna be really good. And even if without safeguard, like it's really strong. Especially if you use an MDR, right? But even MK, like that's really good. So that's something I'm definitely gonna use for rifle builds, MPV. You have to be in cover for that one though. Kneecap talents with the bleed. Increased chance to apply bleed when shooting an enemy in the legs from 10 to 15. Such a weird way to play. Patient, so it's 5 seconds now instead of 3, which is just so long time. Like a lot of people say like, yeah, why don't you use patient widdz? Because I don't want to sit in cover for 3 seconds before I get my heal. I'd rather use entrench. Obviously that only works with rifle and snipers, but I'd rather use that, go into cover and shoot, than sitting, yeah, right now 5 seconds in cover and then it starts healing. That's a long time. And you need 6 defensive as well, which makes sense though, but still. I don't think that, I don't know. Don't like that. But I can see this working for a lot of people though that play a bit slower. So safeguard, reduce duration to 5, can only occur once every 20 seconds. So I guess no changes on that on phase 2, which is quite surprising to see. Because I think maybe they put it down to under 50. It doesn't say anything about that. I don't know. Spotter, increased weapon damage to pulse enemies to 20%. And I think this one is actually multiplicative. Somebody told me that, but I haven't checked it. So that could be interesting. Surgical, 5 crit chance instead of 8. Still don't understand why this one and the other critical hit chance and critical hit damage talent gives you the same amount. Like, that's really, really dumb to me. Crit damage should be more than crit chance, because otherwise you're just gonna pick crit chance. Unbreakable. Yeah, this is Nomad 2.0, right? So for PV, 25% healing armor back when your armor reached 0, and now we get 70%. And if you combine this with like safeguard or something like that, like increased healing, that's gonna be even more. Increase the time frame for armor kits not being consumed when effect triggers from 5 seconds to 7. In PvP though, it's only 25, so that's good to see. This is when the PV and PvP balancing comes in. A lot of people say they don't balance it differently, but I mean, they do it for most of the skills, so yeah. This is a good example. Only 25 in PvP, and it used to be 15, right? If it was 17 in PvP, that would have been not a fun meta, because it's only 1 minute cooldown. But you need 11 defensive. Holy shit, that's a lot. Weapon talents. Let's see if they fix frenzy now. For every 10 bullets in the mag, gain 2% rate of fire. Oh shit, they reworked it. For every 10 bullets in a magazine capacity, gain 2% rate of fire and 2% weapon damage for 5 seconds when reloading from empty. So yeah, M60 with extended mag, hello? Okay, or MT49. So that's interesting. PvP though, for every 10 bullets in a magazine, gain 1.5. It's a little bit weaker in PvP. For 5 seconds when reloading from empty. But it's only 5 seconds, and it is when you're reloading from empty, right? Which is kind of annoying. But I mean, first week I did play this one with MG5 for fun, and I will always have 1 bullet in the weapon, right? And I would just as soon as I know there was gonna be a fight, I would just shoot 1 bullet and reload, and then just go ham, which was fun. But now it's only 5 seconds, which is not much at all. So I don't know, I think 5 seconds is too little. It should be 10 seconds and maybe like lower this if they think it's too strong. Personally, 5 seconds it's just too short. Because what could happen is you shoot the mag normally, not from 1, and then they just hide and you get no use of it, right? So I would probably like to see like 10 or 15 seconds. But if you shoot the mag, you just lose the buff, right? When you finish the mag, you lose the buff, and if you reload, you get it again. I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty dumb, but yeah. So yeah, yeah, I didn't really think they're okay. But 10 seconds, I think, would be better. Killer now grants 30 critical hit damage for 5 seconds. So this used to give you 50 critical hit chance if you kill a target with a crit, which didn't make sense at all, because if you kill somebody with crit, most likely you have a high crit chance, and there's a cap at 60%, and this one would not go through that, right? So crit damage, that's actually makes sense. Preservation, yeah, that's a weapon talent as well. Killing an enemy repairs 10% armor over 5 seconds. Headshot improves the repair to 20. I thought this just made it instant, but I guess they changed that. So it was 5%. Yeah, okay, it gave more, okay. Okay, so it did give double, but 20% though, holy shit. That's a lot. That's for PV though. Killing an enemy repairs 5 armor over 3 seconds. Headshot improves the repair to 15. Still 15% in PvP though, but yeah. Requires 7 defense as well. I guess this one is pretty nice if you want to have armor on kill. For PV, right? I don't think for PvP that it's that good. But PV, when you kill a lot of NPCs, especially for soloing. Reformation, increased headshot kill skill repair and healing to 50% from 25. Duration decreased from 25 to 20. So it's a good healing skill for like healers. You need 9 utility, which is a lot, right? Spike, I think that's you get 50. No, okay. This is the, yeah, you get a headshot kill and you get skill damage. So 35 skill damage now instead of 25. And yeah, longer duration. So that's actually makes it pretty good for a healer build. Only 5 utility, this one is 9. Strained, increased missing armor requirement from 5 to 10%. And the rest is the same, right? So they just put it in half. Unhinged, reduce the damage bonus to 25 to 20, which is good. It should give you less damage. But this part is the one I don't understand. So reduced handling negative from 35 to 25. So now you lose 5% damage, right? But they lower this with 10%. And to me, that doesn't make sense because it makes it easier to use because you only lose 25 now. So I would like this to stay the same or even be higher. But putting it lower like that, to me, it doesn't make sense. Like Unhinged is such a strong talent because you don't need any requirements at all. So yeah, I would definitely like to see this stay at 35 and lower the base damage. Because it's just too good of a talent. Especially when they do that. Unstoppable Force for PvE. Killing an enemy now grants 2% weapon damage for every 25 max armor. They did increase the max. They did increase armor and health on your gear by double, I think. So it's not as bad as it looks like, but it's definitely nerfed. And 1% weapon damage in PvP though. And I think that was still 2% in PvP if I remember correctly, right? But still, I think that's needed. Like the talent was too strong. I knew they were gonna like nerf it or balance it because it definitely needed to get balanced. So that's, in my opinion, good to see. Like the game, they should strive to make it as balanced as possible. So I'm happy with that. But I do understand, like for a lot of people, it sucks. You farm your gear and then yeah, it gets nerfed one day later, right? But I mean, you gotta keep something in mind. Let me swap snooze. You need to keep something in mind that if something is too powerful, you need to expect that it's gonna get nerfed. Like, and that's how it should be. Like, if something is too powerful, they need to balance it, and the easiest way to do that is to lower the value of something that is super powerful instead of upping 20 or 30 talents or whatever it is to the same value, right? It's easier to keep the game balanced if you just lower the value of the best thing, right? And in the end, it's kind of the same outcome. As long as the nerfs are good for balancing and they are still useful. If they nerf them too much or they're completely trash, then obviously they failed. So vendors will now verify the player's highest achieved vulture and offer items of that gear score instead of offering items of the highest vulture available in group. Weapons, skin slot, okay, that's nice. So they increase the damage of a chatterbox. Yeah, I guess that's good. I mean, it's a good weapon for PvE because you can use fire and fire all the time. But it did feel a bit underwhelming. Oh, Sweet Dreams, the Lullaby damage increase. I'm up for that. I mean, basically every exotic got a damage increase, which is good because most of them you just use as a holster weapon. So maybe this can actually make the guns a bit more viable. This one is interesting because I do have a plan for that, which I have had since like 1 month ago, but never done it. Something fun. Pestilence, Liberty, and they did add a 2 zoom states for the tag 50, basically a variable zoom. So I think you have the 15x zoom, and then you have a lower zoom as well you can use. Conflict, armor boost provide, yeah, the boost on the map, right? So 50% less armor, which I think it's great. The boost were giving you too much power, to be honest. So it's good to see it lowered. Like, it should give you a decent boost, so it's worth to go for it, but it shouldn't make you completely OP. Improve value on nameplates. Affect how much armor enemy has. That's good, I guess. And yeah, this is something that I tweeted about before. All players are now scaled to max vulture gear score. Primary stats are set to high-end values. Normalized talents overrides are applied. Basically, instead of lowering your normalization, they are taking it up instead. And that's something I tweeted like 2-3 weeks ago and said, yeah, this is how it should work. You should scale it up instead. Like, you shouldn't nerf people that have good gear and make them weaker. just buff everybody up to the highest, right? Because that makes more sense if you want to do some normalization. And I did get some shit about that from Twitter. Obviously, there was a lot of people that was on my side, but I mean, I remember seeing that dev and he got so many likes. But then just look at this here. They still shows this option, huh? Because it does make the most sense. And this way, it doesn't take away as much RPG element as if you do it the other way around. So that's good. PvP specific overrides, weapon and skill global damage modifiers. So AR is now getting buffed, 1.25 PvP damage scaler, which is nice to see. I guess it was one from the beginning, right? And yeah, I really like to play AR, but currently in conflict it don't feel viable. In occupied, you can still like shred pretty fast, as you probably will see in a video soon when I play some solo PvP with that build. But still, everything works kind of in occupied, so yeah, this is nice to see. We want to have all weapon types viable when it comes to PvP, right? So the damage boost as well got nerfed by half, good to see. Conflict NPC was moved. Respawning players are more... Okay, this is good as well. Respawning players are now much more likely to respawn with their teammates. That's really good. Skilled cooldowns no longer reset when a player is killed. This is so good as well. It's nothing more annoying playing against a SMG build with shield and drone. You managed to kill them even though they had that super OP, like all the skills and everything OP up. You kill them anyway. They respawn. Then you just press Q and E and they like immortal again. And then you die, or even you kill them and they come back again with a skill. And now, yeah, that can't happen. So that's really nice to see, because now we actually have to think a bit more when you use your skills. So damage modifier reduced to increase time to kill. This is something that I do like, but I think if they make people too tanky, it could actually backfire and make a lot of people... Something I kind of fear is that... maybe we come to that later, but they are nerfing crit chance when you hip fire. So in PvP, this is only in PvP, by the way. So if you hip fire, you can't crit on a player, which is a huge nerf to SMG hip fire, I guess. But you can use LMGs that just uses the weapon damage, right? And just hip fire with them. And how silly isn't that? Using a LMG and just hip fire. And I know that for a fact that the devs definitely don't want that to be meta in PvP. And if you make the time to kill slower, or increase, like make people more tanky, that's something that can occur easier, right? So I really hope that that won't happen, because that would be a shitty meta. Like just have a M60 with a headshot damage scope, and people just run a hip fire. That would be really silly. So I hope they think about that. Dark Zone, contaminated loot. Bosses now have guaranteed a contaminated loot drop. Yeah, that's good. Higher challenge landmark can drop multiple contaminated items. Basic veteran and elite NPC have their drop rate lowered. Okay. So I guess buff to landmarks basically. So Dark Zone bag size increased. So we will have 10 in total if we have the perks. And normal one is 6, so that's nice. I think 10 is actually too much, but I won't complain about something like that. Like in the end, it's actually better. Like it's nothing to complain about. I mean, I do prefer like a 10 size bag. I just think it's really, really big though. But overall, that's just better. The bigger, the better. You know, that's what she said. Dark Zone brackets. So they did fix that. So there's only two different brackets now, 1 to 30, and yeah, the Walters, which is good. NPC AI reduced the damage output, increased time to kill. Landmarks added a short cooldown to landmarks, which is nice, I guess, because the way we farmed sometimes, it would just you clear the landmark and it would spawn in like a few seconds. So that was a bit broken, even though, yeah, I like to farm fast. That's something they should fix. So Rogue, remove the cooldown. There is still a 5-second toggle cooldown though. So this is really good. There was some like you would go Rogue. Either you buy it off or you die. And then you would have to wait, it's like almost 2 minutes before you could toggle Rogue again. And that was the most, it was just really dumb. And let's say like you're fighting with your group, right? 4 guys. You kill 4 players, but 2 of your teammates actually die. So your group is still mana, you spawn, and you go to a group. You can't, you're in the same area as your group, right? 5 meters from your teammates, and they are fighting other people, but you can't do anything because you are still a normal rogue, right? And so you would have to wait for the cooldown before you toggle rogue, and that was so dumb. So yeah, they are fixing that. So yeah, that's nice to see. Thieves Den now allows player to swap weapon. I guess that's for the special bullets. Occupy Dark Zone damage modifiers. Added a separated damage PvP modifier. Yeah, just to make people tankier in Occupied as well. Reduce the Dark Zone experience loss to 35. I think that was 90 or 95%, which was pretty silly when I played solo PvP yesterday. Because I feel like I had a KD of at least 2 to 4 in KD. And I dropped 10 ranks. Just solo PvPing against what? There was like, what, 5 to 8 people at times there. I mean, I had a really good time though, and everybody wanted to PvP. But like losing 10 ranks for that, it felt a little bit weird, right? So at least, yeah, you lose less experience. Text chat improvements, hype, anti-aliasing. This is actually something they didn't have though, right? Did they? Yeah, some bug fixes. I mean, there's definitely more than this, but yeah, I guess that's basically it. It was quite a lot of information. But I'm actually pretty happy with almost everything here. I think, yeah, most of it looks, to me, really good, actually. But yeah, we're gonna end it here, I guess, this time around. Yeah, I didn't cover the phase 1, and I feel like after reading this one, there's no point to go back to phase 1 and check that. And yeah, I didn't cover that because I was sick. But at least I'm covering this one, so thank you guys for watching. And if you are interested in more videos or Division 2 videos, just hit that subscribe button. See you in the next one.